Palm Beach County. Dave Ehrenberg with more on that. Who did Lindsey Graham have the call with? What did he say?
Hi, Mika. He had the call with the Georgia Secretary of State. And according to the Georgia Secretary of State, Raffensperger, Graham asked him if he had the power to throw out absentee votes from counties where there's a high non-matching signature rate. And that really bothered Raffensperger. But I've got to say, based on what we know, it doesn't seem to be enough to charge a crime. There are two key elements that are missing from this call that exist in the Trump call to the Secretary of State. First, there is no recording, and recording is a prosecutor's best friend. Jurors love recordings, but without it, it's just a he said situation, and that brings reasonable doubt, and reasonable doubt brings an acquittal. Secondly, there's less evidence of intent here. In the Trump call to the Secretary of State, he made that infamous line that I want you to find me 11,780 votes, to be exact. But in the call of Graham to Raffensperger, he doesn't say that, and there's ambiguity. And in Georgia law, you need intent to show solicitation of election fraud or the misdemeanor crime of trying to get an election official not to do his duties. And so you have a lot of missing elements here, and it's going to make it very hard for prosecutors to bring charges and prove a case beyond a reasonable doubt. But still, more investigation is needed.
Yeah, and certainly there was an aide who expressed shock at what Lindsey Graham was asking the Secretary of State of Georgia to do. Katty Kay is with us, and she has a question for you. Dave?
Yeah, Dave, so if we don't have the basis for proving intent on Graham's behalf, where does this go? Does it have some political ramifications for Lindsey Graham himself, even if it doesn't have some kind of legal ramification? And what kind of position does it put Raffensperger in? I mean, he's been one of the, amid a slew of Republican state officials who have come out kind of censoring people for criticizing Trump. Raffensperger, of course, has been one of the few who has actually stood up for the process of democracy and for the process of the free elections. What kind of position does it put? Does it have any impact on him, this revelation and this investigation?
Well, based on what we've seen lately, it probably puts Raffensperger in more political jeopardy than Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham was just reelected for another 6-year term. And so I don't think he'll see any blowback in South Carolina. But Raffensperger could face consequences at the polls when he's up for reelection in Georgia, because people in the Republican Party fear a primary because the Republican Party has become the party of Trump. Had Lindsey Graham gone further and said, I want you to destroy votes, I think you should toss votes, that would be different. Then you could really consider filing criminal charges here. But right now, I think the most that the prosecutor can do is to open up a criminal investigation, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Interestingly, I think there's a greater chance of filing charges against Rudy Giuliani because he made false statements to local and state governmental bodies. And the DA in Atlanta said that she is expanding her investigation to include the making of false statements. She didn't say Rudy by name, but we know who she's referring to. And when he went before the State Senate Committee in Atlanta, which is within DA Willis's district, and said there are 10,000 dead people who voted, or that there are suitcases full of fake ballots that have been counted, that's the kind of stuff that can get you a pair of handcuffs. So if you're Rudy Giuliani, you may want to start butt dialing criminal defense lawyers because you may need them.